Right, and we're just going to send this to the Zoom or the VL. What am I saying? All right, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live Eviction for Deception Season 2 Trials by Wonderland. Before we get to the votes, I do want to allow the nominees to give their speeches on why they should stay. Evelyn, you can go first.
Hello, all. As I've been saying, I love each and every one of you beautiful humans, and I hope that moving forward, who I know is working with whoever, we got that, and just know that I hope everybody, I love no matter what happens, and I hope I'm good for your game, and as Julie Chen always says, love one another.
Thank you, Evelyn. Seb, you may speak if you would like to.
I
I
just
just
wrote
wrote
anus.
anus.
But that being said, no, let me turn the mic off. But for real talk, if this vote is not unanimous for me to go, block Evelyn on Discord. Thank you. Because that's
All right, and with that being said, we will go into the votes. Um, if you have sent one, bump it up. If you haven't, please send one.
I just want to
And
clarify that what I meant was like if I'm not leaving unanimously, if you vote Evelyn out still, that's crazy. Thank you.
with that being said, again, yeah, bump your vote. If you sent it, send one. If you have not, I will be back with the votes. This is live to the viewers lounge, so if you want to make any shout outs, please do them now.
All right. I will shout out Grace, I guess. And then I will shout out the love of my life, the start of my shine, the All American Canadian hero, Cameron Savoy. Also, shout out to Distortion. Shout out to Deception. Shout out to Paradox. Shout out to Kaleidoscope. Shout out to the Collective. Shout out to Wheel, if that's a thing still. Shout out
It
to
sure might be.
Yeah. Shout out to Hype Viver. Uh, I don't know what else.
I would say shout out to CTC season 18, which I'm a part of. And fun
Oh
fact,
my God.
we get to go to tribal tomorrow.
Oh my God. I didn't purposely forget you, CTC. I love you.
Is Pace on your tribe?
I was gonna say, okay, we'll shout out who's on my tribe. We got giraffes. We got um Michael M. We have Patrice, Sam.
You said
Uh,
Patrice?
yep.
Oh.
Shout out Patrice. Holy shit, I
I
didn't know he
know,
was so
That's
right? What a
crazy.
guy.
Hey, shout out
You
Patrice.
want to see pictures of my dogs? Yeah, no. And then what was it? And then we got Dusty and me. Let's go.
And speaking of
Patrice.
shouting
Holy
out
shit.
Patrice's dogs at the crib, I have the vote.
Literally. But yep,
Um,
that's who's there on good old Torva. Come hang out, say hi, and see what's up.
as I was saying, speaking of mentioning Patrice's dogs at the crib, shout out to them. I do have the votes. When this person is named, they will have just a few moments to say their goodbyes. By a vote of 8-0, Seb, you have been evicted from Deception Wonderland. If you have any final words, please say them.
Yeah.
Why that?
I needed a Benji background that would fit the occasion. Okay. Is this my camera? Okay. I think so. Real talk. Thank you so much, guys, for honoring my wishes. I really do appreciate it. It's been a really rough few weeks, and I hope that whoever joins me in the jury is ready to just, have a good time. Just enjoy yourselves. I want everyone in this game to just take a deep breath. Understand that I don't even know if there's a prize. Benji, is there a prize for this?
No.
Exactly.
Maybe for season 3,
Oh,
someone sponsor us. Thank you.
When we
so
up the budget.
remember, it's just an org. Remember that it's all love on my end. And I'll leave by saying this. I really do need, as a juror, I need to see some of you play. And I think all of you are playing. I need to see it though. Like I don't want to hear it. I want to see it. I don't want jurors telling me about it. I want to see it. That's all I'm gonna say. Again, thank you, Prod, so much. Shout out to Benji. I think Benji is the best comp creator when it comes to competitions for orgs, and I'll always give him his flowers on that. But I'm gonna go take a nap.
Before you do, I have a few words myself.
Oh,
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I've known you for almost over 4 years now. You've given me the platform to spread my wings as a production member to then step foot into what I know I could achieve. You've taught me steps and tricks along the way. You are one of my best friends I could ever ask for from this community. So thank you for stepping out every single time, whether it was to cast me, whether it was helping me, whether it was playing this game, just always taking and going out on a limb for me. Like I love you.
Benji, I promise you I'll cast you for All Stars soon. Maybe.
Please do, because if not, I'm gonna go fucking insane.
All right.
Uh,
But I love you all. Have a good night. Benji, say your thing.
all right. I'm sorry, Seb, but it's time to scram. Get out my
Scram.
Zoom.
All right. Bye, y'all.
I'll
Love
see
you
you
all.
soon.
Kisses.
And with that, we are down to the final 10. From here on out, everyone you evict will be a part of the jury, so either you will be seeing them at eviction or at finale night, or you will be in one of those two chairs. Uh, with that, we have an HOH to compete. Um, Give me just a minute. This doc just becomes bigger and bigger every time I see it. All right, so prior to tonight, you guys were asked to fill out a cute little form. Remember that? It was purple and shit. It was cute. So it pertains to tonight's HOH. We are playing touchy subjects. For those of you that haven't played that before, it's quite simple. So, using that form, we averaged out the answers based on what you guys have told us honestly and truthfully from the questions you have answered. When I read the questions back to you now, you will send them to me in your Zoom chat on what you think your house guests have said is the majority answer for that question. If you answer correctly, you will receive a point. I am going to ask that after you write your question into the Zoom, your hand must be in frame at all times throughout the challenge. If you do happen to lose your connection during the challenge, you will lose your opportunity for that point, but you'll be able to continue with the remainder. The person with the most points will become the new head of household. If there is a tie, we'll go to a tiebreaker question, and the player who is closest without going over will win. Do we have any questions?
We're typing to
Sorry.
you. Oh, sorry. Are we private
Thank you.
messaging you in the Zoom or in the private chat?
Correct.
Okay,
In the
gotcha.
Zoom, yes, you are private messaging me and me only in the Zoom chat. Great question. Any other questions? All right, with that being said, now that we are aware, yep, I see that, Eric. Perfect, thank you. Um, that being said, if you are not on your phone, because I understand you also have to hold your phone with one hand and we see the other perfectly fine. If you are not on your phone, I need to see both hands. If you're on your phone, I need to see at least one hand until you are typing your answers. Perfect, perfect. Just going around and taking a look. Um, Sabrina, can we just have it up like closer toward you, your hand in frame? Beautiful. All right. So I'm gonna read those questions back, and again, you are looking for, you are trying to think of what the majority answer will be. Oh, and then just a disclaimer as well before we get started. Due to some extenuating circumstances and work schedule, as we have already been let known, Roberto and Staten are not here but have previously competed. So they are still eligible. Moving on. First question. Who is the funniest house guest? I repeat, who is the funniest house guest?
I know you probably said this, but we're typing, right?
Yep, typing to
Okay.
me in the Zoom chat, like just to me personally. And then after you're done typing, you will put your hand back up since I know you have your phone with you, just so hands are in frame. Once you, and then just to also disclaimer, once you lock it in, it's locked. We're done. We can't change it. Um, Jake, as outgoing HOH, you are ineligible to compete. So if you want, you could also go off camera for that. Excuse me. All right, just grabbing those questions or those answers. Mhm. And then, sorry, one more disclaimer. Since this was done with 11 of you here, all 11 can be included in your answers unless we state otherwise. So this was done with the pretenses of anything prior to eviction night. Thank you. All right, we are going to go over the questions at the end. So, second question. Who do you think has the best potential to win this game? Again, who do you think has the best potential to win the game? And Prod, if they are incorrect, just go ahead and highlight them in red, please.
Will do.
Thank you. All right, second answers are locked. Moving on. Can we make that a darker red, please? Um, Third question. Who do you think is playing someone else's game and needs to wake up? I repeat, who do you think is playing someone else's game and needs to wake up? All right, answers are locked for that one. Next question. Who do you think would die first in a horror film? I repeat, who do you think would die first in a horror film? All right, answers are locked. Next question. Which house guest is most likely to be cast on Big Brother 28?
And Benji, please check Pro Chat, please, please, please.
Okay. Yes to both.
Haley, you have your hand raised. You have a question?
I was just still keeping it in frame for some
Ah, okay,
reason.
my fault.
Love that.
No,
No, I
no.
love that. Thank you for following the rules. Love that. Next question. Next question, if you haven't answered it already, I know we went over it briefly. Which house guest is most likely to be cast on Big Brother 28? So we will continue grabbing the rest of those. All right, answers are locked. Moving on to the next question. Who are you surprised to still see here in the game? Who are you still surprised to see here in the game? All right, answers are locked. Next question. Who do you feel is running the game? I repeat, who do you feel is running the game? All right, answers are locked. Next question. Who is yet to live up to their full potential? Again, who is yet to live up to their full potential? All right, answers are locked. Next question. Who do you think is a lock for Deception All-Stars? Again, who is a lock for Deception All-Stars? Jacob, you have to play to be on All-Stars. I saw that. All right, answers are locked. Moving on to the next question here. Which pre-juror do you feel deserved to be here? Like here, jury phase. What pre-juror do you feel deserved to be here? All right. And final question that you were asked. Who do you think will be evicted next? All right, and with that, that was your last question. I will go ahead and fill the last of these in, and then I'm going to hand it over to Jacob to read your results.
Yippee! I am here. Good evening, Final 10. Just want to say congratulations on making it this far. This is no easy feat, regardless of where you guys finish, whether it be from 10th all the way to first. You guys should be proud, regardless. Yeah, made it through hell of a season. But we got to start off. First question. We will be revealing what everyone answered. We'll reveal who the majority voted for each of the respective superlatives, who receives a point, and then we will unveil afterwards who crumpled and what they got. All right. Question one. Who is the funniest house guest? Eric voted himself. Gianna said Seb. Haley said Staten. Kathy said herself. Roberto said Seb. Sabrina said Steb. Staten said himself. Timmy said Kathy. And Evelyn said Staten. Um, the correct answers we would have accepted are any of Kathy, Seb, or Staten. So everyone gets a point except Eric. Rip Eric. Everyone has a point. We move on to the second question. Who do you think has the best potential, the most potential to win the game? Eric said Kathy. Evelyn said Timmy. Gianna said Sabrina. Haley said Jake. Kathy said Roberto. Roberto said Sabrina. And Sabrina, Staten, and Timmy all said Kathy. And those three and Eric are all correct because the majority said that Kathy has the best and most potential to win this game. So Eric, Sabrina, Staten, and Timmy all receive a point. Question three. Who do you think is playing someone else's game and needs to wake up? Like, get off the floor, why don't you? Eric said Staten. Evelyn said Eric. Gianna said Evelyn. Haley said Seb. Kathy said Eric. Roberto said Haley. Sabrina said Eric. Staten said Evelyn. And Timmy said Eric. The correct answer was Staten. Only Eric gets a point. We move on to the fourth question. Who do you think would die first in a horror film? Eric said Haley. Evelyn said Haley. Gianna said herself, Rip Gianna. Haley said herself, Rip Haley. Kathy said Haley. Roberto said Roberto. What's wrong? Are you guys okay? Does everyone think they're gonna die first? Sabrina said Roberto. Staten said Haley. Timmy said Haley. The answer is none of those people. The majority voted for either Eric or Evelyn to die. The murderer will kill them both simultaneously. No one gets a point. We
Let's
move on
go,
to question five.
Eric.
Let's go. All right. Which house guest is most likely to be cast on Big Brother 28? We have Eric, who said Jake. Evelyn said Kathy. Gianna said herself. Go, Gianna. Haley gets answered Roberto. Kathy said Jake. Roberto said Jake. Sabrina said Jake. Stan said Jake. And Timmy said Kathy. The correct answer, if that string of four answers was an indicator already, Jake will be on Big Brother 28. I'm locking him in as my winner pick. All right, JP. His stocks are going to go through the roof. The following players get a point: Eric, Kathy, Roberto, Sabrina, and Staten. We move on to the next question. Who are you surprised to still see here in this game? Eric said Evelyn. Evelyn said Gianna. Gianna said Staten. Haley said Evelyn. Kathy said Gianna. Roberto said Eric. Sabrina said Evelyn. Staten said Evelyn. And Timmy said Eric. The majority of you said, how the hell is Evelyn still here? How that happened, man? So the following players get a point. Eric, Haley, Sabrina, and Staten each get a point. Move on to the next question.
Three-peat nom, baby. And I'm still kicking.
Well, speaking of kicking, who do you feel is running the game? We got a little variety in these answers here. We have Eric saying Jake. Evelyn said Jake. Gianna said Evelyn. Haley said Jake. Kathy said Timmy. Roberto said Evelyn. Sabrina said Jake. Staten said Timmy. And Timmy said Kathy. Majority of you said that Kathy is running the game. So the only player to receive a point that round is Timmy. We'll move on to the next question. Who has yet to live up to their full potential? Eric said Sabrina. Evelyn said Seb. Gianna said herself. Haley said herself. Kathy said Sabrina. Roberto said Gianna. Sabrina said Haley. Staten said himself. And Timmy said Eric. Y'all said Haley has yet to live to her full potential. So Haley and Sabrina both get a point. We move on to the next question. Next question. Who do you think is a lock for All Stars? And not one, not two, not even three, but four people tied as the answer. But let's see what everyone said. Eric said Jake. Evelyn says she's a lock for All Stars. Gianna said Sabrina. Haley said Seb. Kathy said Seb. Roberto said Kathy. Sabrina said Evelyn. Stanton said Eric. Timmy said Kathy. So only Evelyn has confidence in herself, which is she is one of the answers, along with Eric, Jake, and Kathy. So the following players get a point. Eric, Evelyn, Roberto, Sabrina, Stanton, and Timmy each get a point. Move on to the penultimate question. Which pre-juror do you feel deserves to still be here? Eric said Danny. Kathy and Roberto said Fred. Evelyn, Gianna, and Sabrina said Dime. And Haley, Stanton, and Timmy said Cake. So y'all simultaneously said fuck Erica, fuck John, and fuck Mikey. Yeah, I think that's the pre-juror y'all said. But the answer was a tie between Dime and Cake. So the following players get a point. Evelyn, Gianna, Haley, Sabrina, Staten, and Timmy. We move on to the final question. Who do you think will be evicted next? And as we said earlier, this was taken before the questionnaire was completed before the eviction started. So Eric said Evelyn. Evelyn said Seb. Gianna said Staten. Haley said Seb. Kathy said Gianna. Roberto said Evelyn. Sabrina said Evelyn. Stanton said Evelyn. And Timmy said Seb. The correct answers were either one of Evelyn or Seb. So the following players get a point. Eric, Evelyn, Haley, Roberto, Sabrina, Stanton, and Timmy. Now we have gone over all 11 of our questions. So we're going to go from worst score to the best score. We did, in the event of a tie, we do have a tiebreaker prepared. But let's see if we need it. In last place, only getting 2 out of 11 correct. Kathy, you are not the head of household. Also receiving 2 points, Gianna, you also will not be head of household. Next up, in 7th place, getting 4 out of 11 questions correct, we have a tie. Neither of Roberto or Evelyn would be the new head of household, which means our top 5 players in this competition are Eric, Haley, Sabrina, Staten, and Timmy. In 5th place, ironically getting 5 out of 11 correct, Haley, you are not the head of household. In a tie for 4th place, with 6 out of 11 correct, Eric, Timmy, neither of you will be the head of household. So it comes down to Sabrina or Staten. One of you got 7 out of 11, but securing 8 out of 11. Congratulations, Sabrina. You are the new head of household. We will be posting a poll as to when the nomination ceremony and the subsequent veto selection will take place. Good night, house guests. If you've watched Survivor, please don't spoil me. I have not watched it, and as I don't know if everyone else here has. Best of luck. Remember, have a good night.